And we go to the Big Ten. Indiana Hoosiers assistant head coach, co-defensive coordinator, and safeties coach Doug Mallory joins us to preview the Hoosiers in 2012. Hey, Coach Mallory, Vince Ferrara, how you doing?
Good, Vince. How you doing?
I'm good. Practice so far, getting after the guys a little bit. What's been the tone so far, practice?
Well, I think, we've been pleased with where we're at right now. Kids that are trying to start here in the off season, just preparing and conditioning. And, again, just, the first week of two-a-days, we've had some pretty good contact. Kids are competing out there and actually getting after it. So, I feel like we've got the program going in the right direction. But kids are certainly working hard, and weather's cooperating with us.
People may recognize your name. You spent some time in the SEC. You were on the staff of some really good teams at LSU, including that national championship team in 2007. Talk about your time at LSU and in the SEC.
I'll tell you, first of all, it's a great school, great institution down there. Had an opportunity to be there, involved with the program there for 4 years, I think from 05 to 08. And you think you find out pretty quick is that's a great league, from top to bottom as you play in both the East and the West Division there in the SEC. There's no off weeks, just tremendous venues that you play in, great stadiums, great atmospheres, and certainly the competition is there every week. So, really enjoyed it. Baton Rouge is a great community, great town, and a lot of support there for the Tigers.
You have a lot on your plate. I mean, there's a lot of slashes in your title. Certainly a lot of struggles last year, including on defense. What are some of the changes that you guys have made and some of the improvements that you expect on that defense?
Well, there are a lot of things we've tried to change. Certainly, developing the kids who are in our program. 1 year in our system here, we feel like we've got a little bit better understanding, a little bit better overall feel for what we're trying to get accomplished. And then recruiting is a big part of it, too. We're able to go out, at least on the defensive side, and sign 7 junior college players. And, right now, all 7 of those guys are in position to either start or, in a backup role where they're still competing for a starting job. So, that, I think, changing the culture and the attitude here of the program. I think starting with Coach Wilson, I think he's done a great job. When our season ended last year and we lost the bucket against Purdue, our kids were right back in the weight room starting the off-season program there on Monday. And while the majority of other teams out there were preparing for bowl games, we were hitting the weight room there, doing everything we could to get ourselves bigger, stronger, and faster. So, but I think the culture and the attitude just really changed. That's the biggest difference I see in last year's team and this year's team as we go forward.
We're visiting with Doug Mallory, assistant head coach, co-defensive coordinator, safeties coach at Indiana, previewing the Hoosiers in 2012. We'll open up the season against Indiana State at home September 1st. And kind of talk about, from your vantage point, Kevin Wilson certainly has his hands, your head coach, on that offense. What are some of your observations in going against those guys in the time that you've been there, and some of those key players to watch for the Hoosiers on offense?
Well, again, I think as we continue to develop and recruit, the kids are going to fit into the system right here. Number one, it's a difficult system to defend day in and day out. The ability to be so multiple out of the different personnel packages that can create some issues there, and then even at the tempo that that they can run their offense. If they want to go at an up tempo, that they're difficult to stay with. They can go at a slow tempo, or they can kind of go with the check with me system there. But, I think just how multiple they are. I think you incorporate with Coach Luttrell, who'd, been with Coach Leach for all those years, and kind of incorporated some of the pass and attack there from, the old Texas Tech system there. So that's just another dimension you've got to be able to defend. So, it's been good for us from a defensive standpoint, just seeing all the different looks and all the different concepts day in and day out. So I'm hoping that's going to pay out for us here as we get into the season.
Pace is a big thing for that offense. What's a target, maybe number of plays for Indiana offensively?
I think in a perfect world, I think they'd have at least 90. But, again, I think that's more so if they're at up-tempo. From a defensive standpoint, you're hoping they're out there because best defense you can play is when you're not out there on the field. So when the offense is controlling the clock and controlling the tempo of the game, it certainly helps your defense.
Well, certainly it puts you back out on the field if you go 3 and out with fast pace.
You're right back out there, kind of get your Gatorade to go. You don't spend a whole lot of time on the sidelines.
You guys staying healthy so far in
camp? Yeah. Other than my voice, I think we're in pretty good shape right now.
I don't know what that means for your players, though. That could be a bad thing.
Yeah, it's been pretty intense around here, I can promise you that.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thanks so much. Great to visit with you. Really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks so much, Vince. I really appreciate you having me on here today.